So I say this every year, and this year's no exception. It's flown by. I can't believe it's been a year since I did this last time, and yeah, we're here again. So end of the year tradition. Going to run through my builds for the year. Now I think there's 9 we're going to look at, so we won't be here for hours, and a couple we'll explain on in the grouping here. So 9 builds. Yeah, I've had a pretty busy year, but nonetheless, I've churned out quite a lot of products, I think. So starting right at the start of the year. So I did this kind of over the Christmas break, and into January. I think the first week of January pretty much was done. So it's more back end of 2022 probably. But the beautiful Tamiya F35A. Now I know the B's been released recently, and yeah, a lot of hesitation with this kit because people think boring aircraft and not too much going on. But I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed building this. It was a great kit, and rather than doing the boring grey, I did an aggressor scheme. Now I think back at the time I did note that I did a couple of changes, made it, it's not exactly accurate, but, I made it better for me and how it displays better. So I think the round tape, for example, is painted. I used the round tape in the kit that, shows it more visible on top of the pattern, just gives it more visual interest. So again, it's not 100% accurate, but for me, it's what I wanted to do, and I'm really happy how it turned out. So yeah, great kit. Probably pick up the B at some point, but really enjoyed this one, and it just, as typical Tamiya, it just kind of fell together. All right. Next up in February, straight on the back of that was Kinetics FA18D, the ATARs in the Bengal markings there. Another really good kit. The Kinetic F18s are pretty good. A little fettling here and there, but generally I think they're really solid kits. Really happy with this one, and the markings are actually decals. They're not painted on, and the decals, obviously took some time. I did a build series for this one, and going through it, step by step. But yeah, really happy how it all turned out, and yeah, the decals were fun. They went down no problem at all, and actually looks like it's painted on. So yeah, if I do it again, I probably wouldn't worry about necessarily painting them on. I think the decals are more than enough. The only thing was, as always with Kinetic, something always lets it down, and in this case, I guess they ran out of space on the decal sheet, so they didn't do any tiger markings for the fuel tanks, and a couple of little, I think, issues with, if I remember rightly, with the decals. They're just kind of missing decals, which is kind of a bummer, but nonetheless, it turned out pretty solid. Then there's a bit of a break for whatever reason. I can't remember what I was doing at the time, but then next one was May, and that was the Tamiya F16 aggressor again. So I think you remember at the start of the year I mentioned how I was doing a lot of aggressors. I just like the markings better than doing boring, light ghost gray for everything. And yeah, this one I used the same colors I did for my Persian cat, the F14, the Mr. Hobby lacquer paints, and yeah, really happy it turned out. To be honest, the F16 for me I'm not a huge fan of the aircraft. I mean, I'm more like 80s, 90s Navy, US Navy kind of fanboy, but nonetheless, I built it. Actually sold this one to somebody. Not how longer have this one, but this is my last ever build video, I think, and this was the again a Tamiya F16 and 48 scale. As the F35, it's Tamiya. It's amazing kit, falls together. Although I did have some issues on the underside with the fitment. I think it's probably user error. Did have a little bit of a gap I had to take care of, which is kind of rare. But nonetheless, we got it together, and it's nice to see the various ACMI pods and stuff you get with the kit, because a lot of kits manufacturers don't include that kind of stuff. Then next month into June, we did a piece of armor, and we did an old Israeli, I think from the 60s. This is Amusing Hobbies IDF shot cow. Again, this is one I've sold. I don't have any more. Just cool looking tank. It's basically Centurion, Israeli version of the Centurion tank. And Amusing Hobby kit, I believe, was like, I can't remember too much, but I think it went together pretty well. The instructions maybe were a little vague in parts, but yeah, slightly weathered. This one didn't go too crazy, but really enjoyed the build and just the paint and the shape of this. It was, it's a fun tank to build. July, I finally busted open and the Edward limited edition, which is Hasegawa Warhawk. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Change of pace on building all the modern jets. Great kit, and being Edward, it comes with a lot of extras. I did have some other stuff too. I think I had some fabric seat belts, which I didn't use. I think I'd used the photo etch ones with more than sufficient, and I think I had photo etch landing flaps from Edward I bought. But looking at them, how detailed they were, and how much work and how much fettling it needed, it was just put me off. So I didn't bother using it. I just went with what was in the kit pretty much. Also, the kit, had tons of photo etch. A lot of this stuff I just didn't use. It's just again, it just seemed like mojo sapping tiny little pieces you wouldn't really see. So I kind of picked and choose what I did and went with this scheme with the skull on there. A lot of people I know do the tiger, sorry, not tiger, the shark's mouth. But this is the box art, and yeah, I got the poster and the tin plate with the same image as this aircraft here. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to build. Really happy how this one turned out, and kind of weathered it back a little bit. And so yeah, it's been a while since I did an olive drab, kind of greeny kind of aircraft. So yeah, fun build, great kit. And yeah, I came to a conclusion a few years ago that, you know, you have these great kits in your stash, and, you know, rather than just having them sit there, build them and enjoy them. And that's exactly what I did with this kit. All right, moving to August, another great kit. This is Kinetics Hawkeye, 48 scale. A lot of horror stories about this one. It's been in my stash a few years and kind of put off kind of building it. And you know what? The horror stories, I don't know. It kind of went together okay. It's just, you know, simple modeling skills of, you know, filling and sanding here and there. But generally, it went together really well. I think I remember rightly, the nose weight, it gives a certain number, whatever grams or ounces on the instructions, and it just was nowhere near enough. It was a crazy tail sitter, so I had to basically glue it down to this base. So I think I can't remember what it was, but I pretty much doubled, or I think what it asked for, and it still was a crazy tail sitter. So it needs a ton of weight in the nose there, and yeah, it was just a great kit. It, you know, took pretty time consuming to put it all together, but I'm really happy how the weathering turned out, beating this back a little bit, and just yeah, pretty awesome. I still need to add the antenna wires. I didn't, from the instructions and the pictures, well, it wasn't in the instructions, but in the pictures on web, I couldn't really find exactly kind of where they went. But one kind Patreon of mine reached out with some photographs, so it's still on my shelf. So at some point in time, I just need to run the antennas, just, you know, back from here back to the wings on each side. But yeah, again, if you have this in your stash, go for it. The decals I don't think were the greatest. I know there's one kit, I think it has like a whole nose decal. I would just be wary of that one. Generally, kinetic decals, I've had pretty bad luck if they're big and can be wrapping around stuff. But generally, you know, the flat stuff is okay. This was out of the box. I think just the Wolfpack wing fold kit I used, which is probably worthwhile. It wasn't very expensive. It was less than $10, and just that extra detail here in the wings, it makes a big difference. Moving to September, keeping the big boys going. 72nd scale Nimrod airfix kit. Another one being in my stash forever. Got it out, and this was another one of those horror story things people complain about, saying, oh, the shape's all wrong and the engines are wrong. You can put aftermarket on this, and I just built this straight out of the box. I was like, I got the Edward the window mask set, which is pretty much, you know, for me essential, these little windows and stuff. And yeah, now I took some liberties again with this one. You know, it's a model of mine, and, you know, it's not necessarily realistic. I know these things are, you know, glossy and clean. I did kind of beat this up and weathered it up. I did see a picture like this, but it was actually parked in like a field, like a museum or something. But yeah, this is PSAB, Prince Alton Air Base, from about the time I was there in like early 2000s. And yeah, I kind of liked it. Like, I maybe went a little bit overdone with the weathering, but for me, I kind of liked it. The shape issues, I don't really care. I'm not really big into accuracy, but the kit, again, another one people complain about, and it went together real no problems at all. Just like building airliners, just taking the care of the seams, making them seamless on the top and bottom. I probably would, have I build this again, go with a probably Black Dog or Alley Cat weapons bay, resin weapons bay. Not necessarily because, you know, you don't really see it when it's down like this, but there's not really much holding it together underneath. Whereas I think maybe the resin one might be more of attachment points to make it a little bit easier, a bit sturdier maybe. But great kit, and I actually have this hanging on my wall with a guitar like wall hanger. So if you go on Amazon, they're about $6 for two of them. They're like foam, kind of like forks. So basically, you put on the wall, and you hang your guitars up. And for me, I just, you know, just fit nicely behind the tail here and just hangs up on the ceiling. October, I got this blanked out. I didn't put the pictures in yet. This is the Fujimi K860, basically intruder tanker version. Built it in flight, and it's part of an in-flight diorama. At some point, I'm going to do an aircraft towing behind it, being refueled. As I haven't really finished the second aircraft or done a diorama, I'm not including it in this set of pictures, but that's another one I did get built this year. This time around, I think around October, like September, October, November, I was on a tear with building, And you see, same October again, I built this Top Gun diorama, which I was really pleased again. It's Academy kit, which is absolutely beautiful, 72nd scale, and it's just like the Tamiya 48 scale F-14, just went together beautifully. And I recreated a scene, the fateful scene from Top Gun, where they eject, get a flat spin, they eject, and Goose hits his head on. You see in the second picture here, I had to do some manipulation with the figures. He hits his head, on the canopy, and unfortunately, he dies. So close up, it looks kind of crappy with the fiber fill. From a distance, actually looks okay. This was actually to depict like the fire and the flames coming off the canopy and the seats as they're ejecting. So as with F-14, the Rio goes up a lot. Split second before, so Maverick's a little bit lower. I used Def Models decals, which are J Design, I think they call them, which went down beautifully. Not as too many decals, and I think I went with resin aero bonus figures, and just again just moved the head position slightly, to show them kind of like hitting the canopy and just being shot out the aircraft. This is the first for me in a base. I want to create a simple base, and I just created first time I ever done any ocean, and it was actually pretty. It actually looks more complex than it is. All it is kitchen foil screwed up with another sheet of kitchen foil over the top, and just a bunch of white glue to stick it down. And then I think it was you prime it, and then I think it was Tamiya Sea Blue, whatever number that is, and then you gloss clear coat it, and then it's just clear blue, just layer over layer, about 5 different layers on top of it, and you get this really nice effect. And then I think I just dry brush some white around the top tips of the waves and stuff. So first time ever doing it, it looks complicated, but it actually went down really well. I think Scale-a-thon, has a tutorial, it's like 1.3 million views. So if you Google ocean diorama, you probably find it, and you'll see the step-by-step how he did it. So I basically followed his loosely. He did a bunch more products. His was for boats. For me, for just a simple base for the aircraft, I just kind of dialed it back and did the more simplified version. So I was in a bit of an F-14 kick. So right on the bat of that, I got a fine molds kit, and this is the aggressor one. Now, this kit was beautiful as well. This is straight out of the box. You see the spine, you got the avionics bays. It was a joy to build. I had a lot of fun. I used what mask set I used? I used Aero Masks mask set, again pretty reasonably priced. It helped with the camo. There's no way I was kind of masking this by hand. So yeah, it was fun to paint, and second one back to back, again 72nd scale. And as I mentioned with bench update with this one, I just had a spare like Coastal Kits base lying around for a carry deck, so just to set it off, so I put it on that. And as expected, I got the rivet counters hitting me up saying, oh, it's aggressive, it shouldn't be on the carry deck, or there won't be any maintenance on the carry deck. It's like, dude, it's just a simple base, just to set it off, it's chill. So really happy with it. Between this one and Academy kit, it's really hard to pick them. They're both great kits. I would say, if you want it opened up, for sure, fine molds. If you want it more like more closed up, like I have like the Academy kit. It was a little bit fettling to get it in flight to the Academy kit. To do some plastic card and stuff to get the doors closed. If you want it, the flaps and slats deployed, then Great Wall Hobbies would be your best bet. So there's some really solid 72nd scale F-14s. I think the F-14s are really good. So I think 72nd scale is a really good size for the F-14, and it's just it's a big aircraft, and I'm just really happy with this one. It's a pride of place in my collection for sure. And that is it. Now we have one more, which is 99.9% done. I'm building Great Wall Hobbies MiG-29 in the Slovakian Digicamo. That one's been stalled for a couple of weeks. I've been working on some other projects outside of modeling. We don't have much bench time past couple of weeks. So with holidays and all the rest of it, all it needs really is the pitot tube and the glass, a couple of lights and stuff. So it's just the small minor stuff. I think even the wheels are on, and the bay doors. So it's 99.9% done, but it's not 100% complete. So it will be done by the end of the year, and then next year next bench update it should be done, and then I'll showcase it next time around. But yeah, so they're the two. So the K860 and the Big 29 are two missing from this deck. But these are 9 I built. Really happy with my progress. Again, I think if you've been following my channel, I think hopefully you think as years go by, I think my skills are definitely getting better. I'm kind of tuning in products I like. Not necessarily running for the newest, latest thing, but I find painting now, I just really enjoy the Mr. Hobby lacquer paints. They have pretty much every color you want. I spray really well with them, so there's no point in me rushing out buying other stuff. So I'm kind of sticking with those, and I've been really enjoying the 72nd scale stuff as well. It's just been, it takes up less space. They're a lot cheaper, and just really detail nowadays is seeing this one right here, the fine mods, is really quite nice. So yeah, there we go. That's in summary where we're at. Again, I just want to thank everybody for your support over the past year. It's been awesome. All your kind comments, all your thumbs up. The channel keeps on growing and growing. And yeah, just wish everybody a happy holiday season. And yeah, happy modeling. And we'll be back in 2024. I've got some exciting announcements to make. And yeah, I'll keep it secret for now, but we'll move into 2024. And yeah, there'll be definitely some great content coming up. So thanks again. Have a great one. Goodbye.